Okay, so Matthew, we just talked about the fact that we're going to see a lot of marine invertebrates when we're out here. And these marine invertebrates don't have backbones. And they live in the water, so they have a very special adaptation to help them breathe. Do we have any idea what this invertebrate might need to breathe? Yes. Gills. So Matthew, the marine invertebrate, needs to have some gills. And this invertebrate wears his gills on his back. Like this. Alright, so this is what Matthew the gills look like. He can breathe now.
Matthew.
Okay. Except he's not in the water, so maybe he couldn't breathe. Good point. All right, now, so he's kind of vulnerable. He needs some protection. What do you think this marine invertebrate might need to protect itself? A shell would be a good idea. This marine invertebrate has a hard shell called an exoskeleton. So now he's all protected. He can breathe underwater. He's got his exoskeleton. But he can't live like that, just like a gills and an exoskeleton. He needs something else. He needs to be able to move around.
A brain.
What do you think? Fins. Now, think of an animal with fins.
Fish.
Is that a marine invertebrate, or is that a vertebrate like we are?
A vertebrate.
An animal that has a backbone.
Vertebrate.
A vertebrate. We are vertebrates. We have backbones. When you think of like a fish who has fins, they have backbones. If you've ever had to pull the bones out of a fish, you know that fish has some backbones. But he needs to move around. So he's not going to use fins. What? Tails can help, but this marine invertebrate just has some legs. He's just got some little legs like
Dude, is he a crawdad?
Exactly.
Well, they're in the same family, the crustaceans.
Oh, he's a crab.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Okay, so now he can move around. And I want to tell you about a very cool adaptation that this marine invertebrate has. Say, for example, a predator comes along, like this seagull.
No. Matthew, run!
He wants to eat this marine invertebrate. He's flying to get Matthew, the marine invertebrate.
Matthew, run!
Whoa!
And he's lost his leg.
Matt!
You know, very cool thing. And then hopefully Matthew's smart enough to go scurry away and hide under a rock. But the cool thing about this marine invertebrate is that over time, it doesn't happen instantaneously, but over time, Matthew will be able to grow this leg back. So over time, he will get his leg back. Okay, so he's saved himself from the predator seagull, but he actually has another characteristic that could have protected him a little bit more. What do you think he might have that protects him? Claws. He does have claws.
Whoa.
Put it over his head.
And you know, they can actually grow their claws back too.
Oh yeah. I've seen that happen.
Life without their
Uh-oh,
claws,
I'm so dead.
they use their claws to pick up food and eat. So without them, they can't protect themselves and they can't pick up food. So he's got the claws, he can protect himself, he can move around, he can breathe. What else does he need?
A head.
A head would be useful.
I think that's backward.
Head. You gotta turn this way so you can see how Alright. So what do you think he is?
A crab.
So
Hey, Matt.
they've also got this cool little adaptation where their eyes are on these little stalks, so if they're hidden, they can sometimes extend their eyes out and kind of look around to see what's happening. Now, and we talked about the fact that Matthew can grow legs back, but the way they grow is they shed their exoskeleton. When you're out on the beach looking for creatures, you may find some what look like little dead crabs, and if you look carefully, it may just be the shed shell of a crab. And that's how over time, after each shedding, the leg would grow a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Okay, so Matthew's a boy. When you find a boy crab, you're going to see on their abdomen this more narrow marking. So it kind of looks like a top. It does kind of look like a top. It's a much more narrow marking on their abdomen. Now, if you find a girl crab,
He's gonna be a girl.
like this,
Oh
a much broader abdominal plate. And do you have any idea why the female crab has a bigger abdominal plate covering? What do females do?
A bunch of
Female
people.
animals do. What?
Have babies.
They do. So the female crab will carry her eggs under the
Make
abdominal
Matthew a
plate like this
female.
to protect them. And then ultimately she releases them and they go floating off, and the crab eggs are part of plankton. They're part of the actual zooplankton that is part of the food chain. But obviously, like many small creatures, they spew thousands and thousands of eggs. Not all of them will live, but some of them will be a food source, but some of them will. So anyway, if you find a crab with this broad abdominal plate, it's a female, and you may get lucky enough to find one who's actually harboring some eggs under her plate. If you find one like this, it's a boy. All right,
Aww.
let's give Matthew a round of applause.
Yeah, crab dude.
Yeah.
Let's go on YouTube.